Hello, everybody. I am Coach Rosa Seward. I am from Brickhouse Fitness here in Stafford, Virginia. Welcome to my 21-day boot camp challenge. I would like to start with the most important part of this challenge, which is nutrition. I have already gone to the grocery store and purchased all of the foods that we will use on our 21-day challenge. We are going to focus on nutrition because a lot of times it's very easy to just show up and do all the workouts. That's the easy part. But when you leave the workouts, the most important thing that we need to focus on is nutrition. If we can't get the nutrition right, there's no point in doing all the exercises. There's some point to it, but if you really want to achieve your goals, you want to focus on the nutrition, try to stick to the plan as closely as possible. Of course, you'll have to substitute things if you are allergic to certain foods, or if you just don't care to eat certain foods. That's okay, but try to stick to the plan as closely as possible. And we are going to keep it simple. I'm going to go ahead and start over here with breakfast. So for breakfast, most of us, I will always have a protein shake. It's going to be 21 grams of protein, but I'm going to increase the protein by also adding some chia seeds. I also put in flaxseed and hemp seed in mine, but I just don't have those taken out right now. And then I'm going to use organic coconut, unsweetened coconut milk. I may use water, depending on if I run out of coconut milk or if I don't have almond milk. But those are some options that you can use. Try to go with plant-based milk, okay? You can make your own almond milk. Basically, you're just blending almonds with water and strain off the nut part of it, the meat part of it. So that's breakfast for most people. For other people who like to have a little variety, we will use a Chobani Greek yogurt. It's a non-fat plain yogurt. This yogurt has 14 grams of protein, and it has 0 grams of sugar and 0 grams of milk fat. So 80 calories, very low calorie. And with this, because it's plain, you can use stevia if you wish, or just use blueberries to sweeten it. So I would, if I'm going to have yogurt, I don't particularly care for yogurt, so I won't have that for breakfast, but my husband may. He's going to be participating in this challenge with me. So yogurt with blueberries, maybe stevia to sweeten it if you need it. Don't buy the yogurt that is already sweetened with stevia, because I looked at those ingredients and you'll see that there will be monk fruit, which is also a natural sweetener, which in my mind, why not just use the monk fruit to sweeten it? Why have stevia and monk fruit? So it's going to be a little bit sweeter than what you should have. We're trying to cut back on sugars, except for natural sugars, okay? So Chobani yogurt with blueberries. Oatmeal, also with blueberries. So about a half a cup, it's a little bit less than a half a cup, but about a half a cup of oatmeal, blueberries to sweeten, and you can also add some ground cinnamon for taste. Again, if you need to sweeten it, use stevia to sweeten it. Again, not a lot, but just enough to sweeten it. Most of us will eat eggs. So if you get a dozen eggs, you have 2 eggs every morning, 2 slices of bacon. When you get the bacon, you need to get uncured turkey bacon. This bacon has no preservatives, it has no nitrates and no nitrites. That's very important. When you are if you're going to be having processed meat, and this is a processed meat, so we try to stay away from processed meat, but this is uncured and it does not have any preservatives that are harmful to the body. Okay, so 2 slices of bacon, 2 eggs, and with that, you're gonna also have 1 cup of spinach, or if you don't want spinach, 1 cup of broccoli. So this is a broccoli head. This broccoli head makes 3 servings. So if you take that and you third it, that's how much 1 cup is going to be, okay? So with your breakfast, we're looking for volume. We want to have a lot of volume so that we feel full, faster, and longer. So 2 eggs, two slices of bacon, and 1 cup of a green vegetable. That green vegetable can be spinach, 1 cup of spinach, 1 cup of broccoli, or 1 cup of green beans. And just steam them. Add your seasoning. So that's going to be your breakfast for most of us, okay? And then we're going to move on to lunch. Lunch, we are going to have a big volume salad. So I have a spring mix here, and this spring mix has baby lettuce, it has baby greens, it has radicchio, spinach, so a good combination. In addition to this spring mix, I also have romaine hearts. Okay, these are easy. They're not very expensive. So when I make my salad, I'm going to use 2 cups of spring mix and romaine hearts mixed together to give me that volume. Remember, we want to have a lot of food but low calorie. So spring mix. When I make my salad, I like to use tomatoes, cucumbers, and red onions. That's almost always my base. Sometimes I add peppers, green peppers, red peppers, yellow, orange, doesn't matter. I like peppers for my salad. In addition to the salad, that's going to give me all the greens that I need, all those antioxidants, nice bright colors, but we also need a protein. In my case, I'm going to use chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast, okay? Here's the key with the chicken breast. You want to take the chicken breast out. This is a package of 3 chicken breasts, but this makes a serving of 6, okay? So when you get your chicken breast, and do it before you freeze it. Don't come home and freeze it. Take it out of the pack. I always wash all of my meat, but I'm just going to take one out to show you. Fresh serving size. Okay. Put that there. Put this here. All right. So a serving size. You see how thick this chicken breast is? Remember, a serving size is about the size of your palm. So this is too much for 1 serving, okay? You're gonna take your chicken breast, you're gonna cut it the long way. So put it flat down, get your very sharp knife, mine is very sharp, cut it down the long way, okay? That makes 2 pieces of chicken breast. And if I weigh those, on a food scale, this is about 4 ounces, okay? Chicken breast on top of my salad. With my chicken breast, I like to use, my seasonings are almost always the same seasonings, which are going to be paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and of course, pink Himalayan sea salt and black pepper. Okay. We also use an olive oil spray. We try not to use too much oil in our food because oil is very calorie dense. So you want to use a spray. If you have a spray, you're going to put that in your pan like that, just a little bit, and put your chicken breast in there, sear it, and then turn it over, sear it on the other side. Okay. So this is how your chicken breast is supposed to look when you are preparing it. And this is what I'm going to put on top of my salad for lunch every day. Okay? Put that there. Now, when it comes to dinner, we are going to buy 1 of these packs of chicken breast, or ground turkey. This is 93% lean turkey, which means it's 7% fat-free, or it only has 7% of fat. But a serving size has about 160 calories. It has, 2.5 grams of fat and 0 sugar, but 22 grams of protein. So with the ground turkey, we're going to use it multi-purpose. Let me wash my hands real quick because just touched chicken. So with the ground turkey, I usually will chop a whole onion and sometimes peppers. You do what is best for you. But I will take all of this ground turkey and put it in this very large pan here and brown it all at once. The turkey is going to serve multiple purposes though. We're going to use about a third of this, and we're going to make a spaghetti meat sauce using a marinara. I have a tomato basil spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce. You can use whatever brand you wish, but try to go for 5 grams of sugar or less. It's very hard to find less than 5 grams of sugar. So, but the key too is 0 added sugar. So you want to make sure that your sauce doesn't have any added sugar. So the sugars come from the tomatoes naturally. Okay. We're going to also use the ground turkey to make a salsa chili. Very easy recipe. 1 jar of salsa, whatever spice you like, whether you like it spicy, mild, medium, that's up to you. But 1 can of diced tomatoes. They have tomatoes that are seasoned with basil and peppers and all kinds of different flavors, garlic. Choose whatever is easiest for you. I choose plain and I add my own seasonings. We're going to also add in 1 can of black beans. Easiest salsa to make in the world. Then depending on how thick you like your salsa, you may have to add some stock. I like vegetable stock, but some people use beef stock, some people use chicken stock. That's your preference. Go with the least amount of sodium that you can find and the least amount of calories. So this one only has 5 calories per cup, okay? Which is basically nothing. So we're gonna make the salsa, or I'm sorry, chili with that, okay? With the chili for dinner, we are going to have roasted vegetables. This is easy. Vegetable medley, which has broccoli, carrots, cauliflower. With this, I also add peppers. Again, some of those peppers that I talked about. I also I like mushrooms, so I put mushrooms in my roasted vegetables. And I also get red potatoes or fingerling potatoes, or in this case, it's a medley of baby potatoes. Take these and you quarter them. Cut them into quarters, add them to your vegetables. Those vegetables go in a roaster pan like this. Just spread them out. I'm not going to open them now because I'm not prepping my food right now. So just spread them in there. Season them again with your sea salt, your pepper, maybe your onion powder, garlic powder. That's what I use. And then spray a little bit of olive oil on them so that they don't stick to the pan. Put them in your oven. Roast those until they're tender. Okay? And I have egg whites. I just wanted to mention, some people have high cholesterol and doctors have recommended that they don't eat the yolk of the egg. In that case, use egg whites. You can get the liquid egg whites in your grocery store. So you can have that for breakfast instead of 2 whole eggs. Just use the serving size. Serving size is only about 25 calories per 3 tablespoons. Okay. For my salad, I recommend that you get a balsamic vinaigrette because this has about 100 calories for 2 tablespoons. If you want to stretch it and make it so that you don't have as many calories, depending on your salad, use half and then add another tablespoon of just plain white wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar. So you're getting more dressing but less calories because you're stretching it. Okay? I have limes because I like to add lime to my water. We're going to be drinking half your body weight in ounces for water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water every day. I also have over here snacks. Apples. That's going to be your only snack. So between your meals, you're only going to snack on apples. If you can eat one apple, that's great. If you need 2 apples, that's fine too. Apples are unlimited. Doesn't matter what type of apple. As you can see here, I have red gala apples, and I also have golden apples, yellow apples. You can use green apples if that's what you prefer, but that's the only fruit that we're going to be using other than the blueberries. Why? Because we're going to keep it simple. We don't want to figure, bananas have too much sugar, pineapple too much sugar, grapes. We're trying to keep it simple. You want to have as much volume with as little calories as possible. With the food that we've laid out today, you will consume anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day, and not more, not less. If you notice here, remember I talked about the meat sauce. On Sunday is when you're going to have splurge on your meat sauce, your spaghetti with meat sauce. To cut calories, you can use spiralized zucchini or spiralized squash or butternut squash, any vegetables. You can even spiralize cucumbers. But zucchini works best. So you're going to take 1.5 cups of that marinara sauce that you've made, or that spaghetti meat sauce, and you're going to pour that over your spiralized noodles. Now, some people can't stand the taste of that. That's okay. I understand. It's all right with me. But try to, if you're going to use regular pasta, go for a protein pasta or a veggie pasta. So this is a pasta that's been enriched with vegetables, so that a serving size is going to give you 200 calories in this case, and in the case of the protein, there it is right here, 190 calories, so about 200 for either one. This is only going to give you about 50 calories, the spiralized vegetables. This is almost nothing, okay? So you choose. If you're preparing food for more than one person, if you have a spouse or a mate or a family, then you might prepare regular pasta for them, and for you, you're going to shave off some calories by using the spiralized vegetables, okay? But you do get to have that spaghetti meat sauce on it, okay? So that's going to be your Sunday meal. Every other day, you're going to have your chili. Now, if you don't like chili, remember we said about 1/3 of this meat, this ground turkey is going to be used in the marinara sauce. 1/3 is going to be used in our chili. If you just want to have ground turkey as a side, or you want to make those into patties, then you can do that also, so that you are having something more meaty with your meal. The broccoli, this will make 6 servings. So depending on whether you're going to eat broccoli with your breakfast or with your dinner, that's up to you. But you have 6 servings if you get 2 broccoli heads, like about this size. Remember, you also have the roasted vegetables that you should be consuming with your dinner every day. But some people like to switch it up. Some people might use the green beans for dinner. It's up to you. But this is all we're having. Now, here is a tip. If you find that you're hungry, I like teas. So I have an assortment of teas. There's ginger to lemon, there's elderberry, there's fennel teas, there's burdock root tea. I have all kinds of teas because I like teas. And if you're drinking a tea, it's something warm, it makes you feel like you're having something more than just water. On this challenge, we are only consuming water or our protein shake or protein smoothie. Those are the only beverages, water or tea. Or you can have unsweetened coffee. Now, here's the other thing. We are going to do intermittent fasting during this challenge. What does that mean? That means we are going to eat for a total of 8 hours. That's the max. 8 hours or less. And then we're going to fast for 16 hours or more, depending. So some people are able to fast for 20 hours and only eat during a 4-hour window. That's up to you. You decide, but at a minimum, try to fast for at least 16 hours and then eat during an 8-hour window. You decide what that window is. Is it going to be 11 o'clock in the morning until 7 that you get to eat? Is it going to be 5 o'clock in the morning when you first wake up and then you finish your fast in the afternoon? You decide, but figure out what works. Why do we want to do intermittent fasting? How are we going to do intermittent fasting when we're working out so strenuously? Well, it's important that when we work out in the morning or in the evenings, we try to do this during a fasted state. Basically, that means that there's no fuel from this food in your body. And that forces your body to resort to the stored fat cells or fats that we have, stored fats. So there's this process called autophagy, AUTOPHAGY. And basically that's a cell renewing process, but it only happens when we're at a starvation rate or we're in a hungry state. So, and it takes about 8 hours of fasting before that happens. So if your last meal is at 8 o'clock, basically autophagy doesn't start to happen until about 4 a.m. And that's when your cells take a moment to look for damaged or malfunctioning cell parts, and it eats away at those or destroys those. The word autophagy is a Greek word which means self-eating or eat yourself. So that's what the cells do. During that time is also when insulin level is very low. And then your body is able to do what it needs to do, which is burn fat. So the problem with most of us is that if you're overweight, it's probably because you're insulin resistant. And that happens because every time we eat, doesn't matter if what we're eating is something that's healthy or something that's sugary, insulin is going to be produced no matter what. Insulin is always produced when we eat. Eating triggers insulin, okay? Try to remember that. The problem that most overweight people have is that they're never allowing their bodies to lower the insulin level. So we eat, we spike the insulin level. So if we eat pastries, that's really going to spike our insulin level very quickly. On the other hand, if we eat broccoli, insulin is going to be produced, but it's not going to be produced quickly. It's going to be a slow releasing process. The problem that most Americans have, and most people who are just overweight, no matter where you're from, is that we eat breakfast, let's say at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we snack, so insulin is released into the bloodstream. Then we snack at, let's say, mid-morning, 10 o'clock. Insulin is released again. Then we have lunch at 12:30. Insulin is released again. Then we have a mid-afternoon snack at 2:30. Insulin is released again. Then we have our dinner at 5:30 or 6. Insulin is released again. Oh, well, we got to have that after-dinner snack. Insulin is released again. And you know what? I'm bored. I'm watching a movie. I want a midnight snack. Insulin is again released. Remember, it takes about 8 hours for it to actually come all the way down. But we're never giving it that opportunity to come down. So what happens is our body says there's always insulin in my bloodstream. So then it becomes resistant to that insulin. It doesn't know what to do with it. It's too much. And when we become insulin resistant or pre-diabetic, that's the term for it, then we have to work really hard to try to reverse that. Or if we're not able to, then we become full-blown type 2 diabetics. And we know that leads to kidney disease, that leads to heart disease, that leads to so many other issues in the body. So intermittent fasting is a quick way to let your body do what it's supposed to do. If you think about your ancestors were feasters and fasters. They feasted when they had food, but they fasted when there was no food. And research shows that if you looked at the bones, the fossils from ancient mankind, their bones were strong, their teeth were strong and healthy and almost always intact. If you dug up a skeleton from hundreds of years ago, the teeth are there. And it's because, and you think, how did they manage? How did they manage to go a day or 12 hours or 16 hours or 48 hours without eating? It's the way we are made. We're supposed to be that way. We're supposed to fast naturally. But unfortunately, we can just go to the grocery store anytime we want food, right? Who needs to go to the grocery store? We can just have food delivered to our home. And not only do we have food delivered to our home, we have it delivered already cooked, prepared by someone else. So we sit and we eat. We don't go out and hunt. We don't fish. We don't climb mountains looking for food. We don't exercise as much as we need to exercise. And so what we're doing is we're forcing our body, number one, to perform the same types of exercises that we would perform if we were ancient mankind, running from predators and, being chased by a lion or a bear, or climbing up a mountain to find food up there. We might have to climb a mountain to go find berries or find fruit. We don't perform any of those activities, so we have to force ourselves to do that through exercise, consistent, organized exercise. People tell me all the time, oh, I walk, when I'm at work, I walk all day long. But that's not the same as when you exercise, which is organized. So in this program, we're going to exercise for 30 minutes. We're going to work hard for 30 minutes, but you also need to perform cardio on your own. 30 minutes to 60 minutes of cardio. The best type of cardio that you can do is walking on a treadmill because it's steady state. You put that treadmill on a high incline, 10 or 12 incline. You set your speed to 3 miles per hour and you set your timer to 30, 45, or 60 minutes. And that burns a lot of fat, okay? So that's what we're gonna do in this program. We're gonna fast. Hopefully, if you're working out in the morning, you'll come in a fasted state so that your body needs energy to do all those exercises, but your body is going to look for fat stores to use as fuel. You gotta have fuel to exercise, gotta have energy. So hopefully your body will use your stored fats. You'll drop 10 to 20 pounds during this 21 days. You can do it. If you combine the program, exercise program, with the intermittent fasting, with the drinking the water, and following the meal plan, okay? So that is all that I have. You all will receive the list, the shopping list, so that you can go out and purchase that. Shopping list goes out on the Thursday before the challenge starts. So you'll get your shopping list. You need to go get your food and prep your food. There's going to be another video showing you how to prep your food in a very small amount of time. Okay? Welcome. Let's do this. We want to be fit for life. All right?